What's the weirdest thing you've done when excited? Story 1. When I was young, like 13, I was reading tips for pleasuring myself and found one for a cucumber. I took a cucumber from my fridge, hollowed it out, and warmed it up in the microwave for like 30 seconds. It burnt the tip of my manhood when I first tried to put it in, so I waited. Then I finally started doing the deed. It felt pretty good. By the time I was done, the sides of the cucumber were split and the thing was falling apart. I cleaned myself off, hid it deep in a garbage can, and carried on with my day. Story 2. No throwaway because this is going to get absolutely buried. Alright, home alone, feigning sickness in 7th grade to get out of a test. I got really excited and thought that it would be a good idea to stick my manhood in a chocolate pudding cup. It felt weird at first, and pudding went on the floor, but I didn't care. I just kept going at it, and pudding went everywhere. I tried to clean it up with a plastic sandwich bag that was left over from my lunch and proceeded to pleasure myself with the pudding sandwich crumb combo that was in the bag. I thought screw it and threw it in the trash can. The trash can was already full, but I didn't care. I just placed it on the top, and then I put the rest of the pudding cup in there as well. I did my best to get all the pudding off of the floor and the refrigerator and stuff with a napkin. I flushed the napkin down the toilet and unknowingly clogged the toilet. I decided at this point to just put my manhood back in my pants and go play the trial version of Halo 1 on my dad's Mac. I didn't bother with cleaning my junk. Fast forward to when my mom comes home from work, she notes that I smell like chocolate from the dried pudding on my manhood. She then proceeded to go into the kitchen and shouted, "Malone's Oreo, the whole house smells like chocolate." My heart sank. I was going to be found out if I didn't act quickly. "What's this on the floor?" Nothing, Mom. It sure looks a lot like chocolate pudding, Malone's. I didn't put it there. I was not good at acting quickly. "Well, come clean it up, because I didn't do it and you've been home all day." I then went to the kitchen to clean up all the chocolate pudding that I had missed the first time through. My mom went on her way to the toilet, and I thought nothing of it, as I did not know that the toilet had been clogged by my chocolate pudding napkin. My mom came storming out of the bathroom asking why on earth I had elected to wipe my butt with a napkin instead of toilet paper. I cracked under the pressure and spilled all the beans. I told her the whole story, down to every detail. She then made me take out the trash, unclog the toilet, and finish cleaning up all of the pudding. I have not had any pudding since. Story 3. My cousin. He was always the hot cousins guy and I was one of 4 pretty girl cousins. Never ever thought of each other that way growing up. He's 8 years younger than me. One day, in our 30s, we were invited to a family party out of town. Neither of us wanted to deal with family drama, but you know it's family. Because we both lived in the city and the party was in the country, we agreed to drive together. He picked me up and had a blast driving up together, laughing, talking, and singing to some bad, stupid music on the radio. Well, it was in the country, so most people crashed there because we were all drinking. By the end of the night, somehow, it ended up just him and I were in the hot tub alone. He grabbed my leg and started stroking it up and down so softly. Before you knew it, we were both back in one of my sister's spare bedrooms and, well, yep, it all happened. Have to say, some of the best action I have ever had. So yes, I made love with my cousin and it was good. Story 4. Hopefully this will get buried in this thread, but when I was 12, I had this urge to please myself in the middle of the night. I had just discovered adult content on the internet and decided that I had to watch it to relieve myself. Well, the only computer in the house was in my parents' bedroom, which has an office area off to the side, so I snuck in and proceeded to watch adult films. They were both laying in bed and looked to be asleep, and to my excited little mind that was good enough. I relieved myself, and on my way out I thought I heard a whisper or a giggle coming from my parents' bed. I just ran the heck out of there without looking back. I have been paranoid about pleasuring myself in my house ever since. I swear they know, and I am dreading the day that they may bring this up in front of a girlfriend or wedding toast as some sort of joke. Story 5. A few years ago, when I was 15, my aunt and now uncle got married in Italy. All of our family went there for a 10-day holiday to be there for the wedding. They were wed on the second night. Everyone was allowed a few alcoholic drinks at the reception, but only a few. Everyone was having fun, and some of the family went back to the apartment set where the entire family was staying back. After a while, I decided I'd go and join them or go to sleep. So I headed back to the apartment. I went into the one me, my step-sis, same age, my half-sis, 2 years younger, and my female cousin, 3/4 years older, were staying in. I entered and I thought that everyone was sleeping, so I quietly went to the bedroom me and my half-sis shared. I was about to open the door when I heard something in the bedroom. I began to open it when I saw through the door slightly ajar that my 2 sisters and my cousin were all quite drunk. Then I noticed my cousin was teaching both my sisters how to pleasure themselves, showing them on herself and also on themselves and on each other. I couldn't believe what I was watching. It made me so horny and turned on. So I stood there watching them when a breeze blew the door open a bit more and they saw me. Everyone was red. After an awkward moment that seemed to last forever, my cousin invited me to teach me how to please my next girlfriend. I did, partly out of embarrassment. She said that first I would have to be naked, otherwise they'd all be embarrassed by me. So I did, and they saw my excitement. I was so embarrassed. But I joined in with their fun. After about an hour of teaching us all how to please a girl, we all went to bed. Over the next 6 days or so, when our parents were drinking and clubbing, me, my sisters, and my cousin would stay behind in the apartment. Then my cousin would teach us all sexual acts, such as how to pleasure a boy, oral lovemaking on both genders, and things like that. All but full proper intercourse. We all had fun, and I'm glad it happened. I learned a lot from my cousin. And when I'm alone with my cousin sometimes we talk about it, how it helped me. And she still looks as hot as ever. Story 6. My uncle makes love to adult workers. One day I found some adult workers' panties in his room. I took them to the bathroom and started relieve myself into them. About a week later it started to burn when I pissed and blood would come out. I tell my mom and she takes me to the children's hospital. The doctors run some tests and find out I have the clap. The doctors bring in a social worker and she starts asking me if I ever had made love to someone, what kind of activities have I done, and other embarrassing stuff. I tell her nothing. How the hell can I tell her I relieved myself with an adult worker's panties at age 12? After about 30 minutes of asking questions and awkward silence, the doctor injects me with antibiotics and sends me on my way. Story 7. My first release as a young girl was climbing one of those large poles in a park near my house. For weeks I would just climb that pole and relieve myself until people started looking at me strange. Eventually, I realized I could get the same pleasure by wrapping my legs around the sides of a door and rubbing up against the flat side. I did this until I got caught. Then, I found I could orgasm by rubbing on the armchair of a couch. I also got caught doing this by my sister and her friend. I tried to explain that I was only dancing. Story 8. You know in swimming pools the water jets? Well, I was probably 14 or 15, I don't remember. Anyway, the hole would push water out for a while, then it would suck the water in for a while to filter it. You can probably put the rest of the story together. I was just sitting there for like 10 minutes. People were probably staring, but I didn't care. Story 9. My friend worked as an observer on tuna fishing boats. Live squid is kind of a big deal because you are almost guaranteed to catch a tuna with a live squid at night. One night a crusty old deckhand caught a squid and offered it to my friend. The trick is you rip off the head and throw it in the microwave for a brief blast. When you take it out, you can make love to the still quivering warm squid body. As the story goes, my friend declined and the crew thought he was weird after that. Story 10. When I was 13, I was visiting my uncle and his family. I was sleeping in the living room and they were all asleep in their rooms upstairs. I was rock hard for no reason other than being 13. I needed to take care of it before I could sleep. I sat up and made love to the slot between the couch cushions. Oh, also when I was 11 I got unknown feelings in my wiener, so I took my grandma's pillow into the bathroom and laid on the ground and made sweet love to it. I panicked when I was done, so I put it under the sink. A few hours later my grandma came to the living room holding her pillow with slug trails all over, wondering what the hell had happened to her pillow. Story 11. Relived myself using shampoo as a lubricant. Don't do this. It dries out the skin of your manhood. You have a manhood that looks like it's coated in a thin layer of plastic. Then it starts cracking and peeling, which is simultaneously painful and glorious. Then you eventually take tweezers to it and start peeling away the dead skin. Again, painful and glorious. Manhood was smooth like a baby's bottom after that, but totally not worth it. That first erection with super dry skin woke me up because it hurt so bad.